Hey there, Les here from 6S1, and we are getting closer and closer to being ready to release our new human female Scarlet. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to pop in here and grab some video for you guys, showing you some of what she's capable of, showing off some of the new packages. So we're going to focus on this kit called the Witch Hunter. And here you can see I've got her posed. It's a really cool kit because you can see on my screen we haven't done our thumbnails for it yet. The nice pretty ones that you guys get to see when you buy it. But it's a kit that includes boots, gauntlets, really interesting kind of hair system we've developed for her. Pants, shirt, a weapon strap. Then there's also a series of props, there's a cloak, daggers that correspond to the different scabbards that she has on her thigh and shin. There's a sconce, the sword. It's just a really full-featured kit. The cape and hats there. So. And then it also comes, as is kind of a standard for our kits, comes bundled with, usually I think we put at least 10 poses in a kit, and then sometimes those poses apply not only to the figure, but we'll have, for instance, we'll have like this Action 03 also has a pose that corresponds to it for the cloak, so that it kind of, it doesn't just pose the character, you've got a pose there to help fill out some of the other details. So anyway, that gives you a quick glimpse of the Witch Hunter. And one of the things that I'm really proud of with Scarlet is this thing we developed that we call our advanced proportion system. And what that is a system of, it's kind of like scaling, but and this is a poser 9 and up thing, because it does use skin weights and some things that are under the hood in Poser very exclusively, so it doesn't transfer to other programs. Sorry, Dash Studio folks. But what this does, it kind of takes Poser's scaling system, and which is traditionally, people have complained for years about how bad the scaling system was busted. So we found some ways to use things that are under the hood in Poser to really expand on the scaling system, and bring a kind of functionality to it that just allows us to do some things that I think are really amazing. So here you can see this is Scarlet. I'm going to select the hat and just hide it so you can see her face in here. We'll if we restore that hair, we'll show you the hair real quick. It's funny. The hair, its actual default shape is this kind of fright wig sort of deal, but that's okay because the way it's designed, it's all these strands of hair. This is not. It's kind of more like locks of hair. It's these little pointed polygon strips, and so we have these morphs built in here that will really give you a lot of different shaping that you can do with it. So there we've applied the shape to the hair. Now let's take a look at the proportion system, because that's really the thing I'm wanting to show off a little bit right now. If we go to the body on Scarlet, you'll find next to the normal full body morphs, you'll find a list of dials called proportion controls. Okay, and with these you can dial in, like here's arm length, so that makes them go particularly long or particularly short, and we have limited how far those can work so that it's kind of optimized. It just helps keep from breaking the figure when it's in use, but we've really pushed what you can do with the scaling through this system. And you'll notice I'm not using scale dials. I'm using our custom dials for this, because these dials are driving some things that are kind of embedded under the hood inside Poser. So just as there's dials for the arms, here's dials for the length of the legs. Just can make them get rather short or much longer. So, just with those, you can customize quite a bit of your character's proportions using Scarlet. We can increase the leg length, arm length, or decrease them. And of course, that's if you wanted to do something particularly bizarre, you've got control for that from the left and the right. Same with the legs. Then there's a torso length control that has a similar effect for the torso. Then this one's kind of interesting, is the hands size, because the way that it works, it actually allows all of the joints downstream from the hands to scale up and move with them. So you get the ability to create these large, they can be monstrous or cartoony kind of hands. Then the same with the feet. So I'll show you, let's see, here's neck length, which I find that one just disturbing, the effect that it has, but it could be useful for something, I'm sure. Then head size. We can go, big head, or we could do a little shrunken head with it. So those are all the basic controls for it. Then we've also included a couple of predefined proportions just to kind of show off all of these things in use together. And we're kind of planning on releasing some future packages that may introduce a few more of these proportion preset dials into Scarlet. But the way the system works is that clothing developed for her, if it uses the rigs as we build them, then it should really, any of the clothing that we release for her will also conform, just like you saw here, will conform to these proportion settings. And if we add more proportion presets to Scarlet down the road, the clothing doesn't have to have anything new added to it for those. Just because of the way the system works, it will just use whatever new ones we add into her down the road. So but just to give an example of what I'm talking about with these presets, we'll take a look at one that kind of turns into a dwarf called Little Person, which I really love this one. I'm a fantasy nut and I love dwarves. Even though we have dwarves in our fantasy races line of products, they're more stylized. So if you wanted something that's a more traditional dwarf, maybe a hobbity kind of gnome type character, then Scarlet right out of the box has this great capability just from this one proportion preset. And then any of the clothing that goes on her, all of a sudden you have a gnome or a hobbit or a dwarf that can use any of her clothing because of the way that system's designed. It'll all flow right with that. Then in a similar kind of fun setting, just to show another extreme, is one called Bobble Toon. That's where we kind of turn her into a bobblehead. So I find this one to be kind of amusing, kind of goofy. It's really great if you wanted to take her and use her for all kinds of cartoony stuff. But then those will interact with other things. So we could have a Bobble Toon, but then we can stretch the legs out, or maybe the arms. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with that. So anyway, that's it for now. I just wanted to take a second and kind of show off what's up with Scarlet, and give you guys a little peek at the advanced proportion system and the Witch Hunter kit. So hope you guys find that interesting, and there's more to come. Thanks.